Hello everyone, I'm Emilia Maio, a Hungarian painter who lives in Italy, close to Bologna, a transgender heterosexual woman. Sorry about this, I don't know why I'm doing this, and you have it really terrible. I was Saturday night, and let's start in the middle. For dancing. Uh, For me, dancing is something which I miss more than 13 years from my life, because after I went away from London, I only had once the chance to go out, and that was 2009, so count back, maybe it's more. No, actually it's 13 years. And I love to go out. I love the vibration, I like to feel attractive, but mostly I lost in music. I move for music and this makes me happy. It makes me forget every problem which I have. And I have a few one, like everyone. And I think it's still more healthy way to loosen up than drink or other addictive ways. I was this summer maybe 5 times for dancing, so I cannot say yet I'm addictive. It's still new for me, but every time when I'm there, I feel more and more eased up. So anyway, I went there and I was also going here because I really would like to socialize. And I was doing that. I met with people with who I not only was dancing, but we was talking to really interesting people, and we was talking actually about transitions. And I don't remember his friends or relatives. I remember the tattoo artist was transgender, a transgender too, if I remember well, a girl who became a boy, so transgender boy or man. And I was talking about, I'm actually not sure, we have us, I mean transgender people, in transition with the highest support without critic. It's right. I was telling, I am really agree with people who are talking about the transitions. People who had their own the transition. About talking, the system is really not perfect, and to rushing people into transition with the hopes to solve their problem it sometimes actually makes bigger problem than it was before. And I don't want to say all the shit which the media said opposite of transgender because of transphobia. No. My point is, first with really young age, you don't know yourself. I didn't know myself. It's a decision which you should do, so you should trust in your decision and you should not rely on too much on anyone else's opinion. It's really hard, mostly when you are young, because when we are young we are much more dependent on the other one's opinion than on ours. They are really manage us in a way to think. It's natural. It's the way how we try, and then it's not work. Then we try in another way, and then slowly we figure it out who we are. Or I think that. The problem with the transition, because if it could be reversible, I could say, okay. But it's not. And the big fact which the voice, for example, for transgender men, I mean, they became mutated. I don't think that's so big deal, but like you hear mine one also how it is. I mean, I made the transgender voice woman and feminization practice for 2-3 years, and then I realized it was not a wasting time, it helped on my pronunciation, even if it's still bad. But it was much worse. But people accept you in a few seconds if you are self-confident. So many women has deep voice. So I don't think it's that much. And with that one, I guess with time you can live. But for me, personally, it was a big issue. They told me I actually will be starved for my whole life. I never thought I have a chance for a real child because I never wanted to mistreat a woman to have a child. And alternative ways which exist, for example, in Germany, for me never was available, or in UK. But to unknowns, you will be sterile and not even a chance anymore. It's a different thing, or for me was different. And it's never mind for, I think, it's a transgender man or a transgender woman, because in my view, with time, maybe not when they are 20 years old or 30 years old, but later, we realize, and that's my personal opinion, so don't take it offense, but it's not an accident, I guess. Also, same couples wants to have children, because life continues with children. They remember, they care. That's life. I mean, you actually, to be transgender, you give up a part of future. Your future. Sorry, it's emotional. And when somebody really young and no life experience, and I'm sorry, 20 years old persons, even 25 and even under 30, I think, around 30, I guess we get the ability to see it through all the expectations which we programmed in by social contacts. We have a view, and in my experience, never mind where I have lived, young people, even me, we have a view when we are young, how is life should going on. And we try to fulfill that, even if it's match or not. And it's never mind gender roles. It's true for everyone. And with age, sometimes we achieve what we can, and then we realize it's not what we want. Sometimes we didn't achieve because we even during the process realize it's not what we want, or just not gonna work. And then we start looking for alternative ways. Alternative means not crazy, but it's what is different, like we have studied or we have programmed in, or we had expectation before because we thought that's natural. And let's say like this, we thought it's natural. But it's hardly true for everyone, everything. So it's need time to know ourselves, to make a decision this big, to be sure. And then people say, and that's usually the contrary, which I most of the time heard, yeah, but who don't get the possibility to get transition, they get suicidal. Sure exist extreme cases when it's like this. But I think I was suicidal too, but during transition. And not because of my gender. And I was looking around the topic. If you watched my previous videos, maybe you have seen it. Who is became suicidal is never one reason, and when we achieve the moment, we want attentions from our circumstances to help. Because I think I'm not believe completely in individualism. There's really situation when a person cannot help on himself alone. and they need help, and it's not means they are transgender. Can be also that, I mean, they also can be transgender, but to achieve the moment to be suicidal is hardly ever for one reason. So again, I agree with the idea our healthcare system should be more care about our mental health and our situation in life, and the situation when we can imagine to be transgender is our problem, but actually is not. And when they rush it us in a process which is not reversible, can be really harsh later. So I was talking this in a discotec. I'm not quite sure they understood. I was pretty young and idealistic, and I guess this kind of wisdom comes really with time. If you are interested in your world, you will gain it naturally. When you are really young, you just don't get the possibility, but I think it's absolute right because, like I thought for one of my favorite guests, a Switzerland student who stayed with me in the first lockdown, I'm so happy, so idealistic, because the world could be so bad if we already lost this when we are 20 years old. I wish to be idealistic, but I have seen too much. But I absolutely admire he is, and I think it's absolute right like this. But yeah, I must say, and yeah, I get the idea from my previous video to talk about this also, because it's a journey. It's a journey to know ourselves, and we may think we are transgender, but possibly we are not. It's possible we are gender fluid or other things. But nobody has the knowledge before. I mean, we have to try. And when we feel happy and comfortable, I guess we found the way who we are. So, yeah. I think it was quite shocking for that guys who I was talking about, and I'm not quite sure they understood. But finally I try to point out some things only get known well enough with time. You cannot rush it. And I told them another situation. I was first architect. I love design. I still love design. I was good. I could make good buildings. I mean, I had chance to make great plans. But I realized it's not me. But I couldn't know before I do it. And I know the reason why it's not for me. But I couldn't know that before. So I changed. But that I could change, you know. When you are going through a transition, and mostly already really that hormones already makes big changes, which is not reversible. But even the operation, that is a kind of, yeah, hopeless situation. If you like my video, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. If you have anything to share about this, please write me, and I'm happy to read it. Bye bye.